to give God a hand of praise this morning. And thank you, God. Check out Mama Muti ase acholo ke dumedisa motho wa fela ka lebitso la motho wa ka le Jesu Kriste ke re sa maruti le leadership of the church bo mele bo tate le bo nkgono le bana ba Sunday school ke dumedisa le bana ba baruti ka lebitso la Kriste Jesu. I'm shocked. My guy, I'm going to get a game, another thing. That's how I kill it. Yeah, but you make this a kind of little little among focus in the Jesus Christ. Amen. Can't say my monkey or keyboard, so at least you can make a game. So, Bazalani, I came here in 2021. July, I think, after I got sick of COVID. Actually, I came early, but I got sick of COVID and I stayed home for a month. I didn't come to church. Since Kifilemo Bazalani, I've been in the South from 2017, but I was in Mambati, but I was still going to my church in Malere AFM. I call it my church because I was born there, I was saved there, I did everything in that church. I'm still a member of that church, by the way. I So I came here because it was closer to where I live. But the one thing that made me to stay here, Bazalani, if I were to be honest and not by your face, it's love. You've shown, most of the churches don't show the love that you guys are showing and the care that you guys are caring about. So I am here because just of the love and nothing else. I like it. Nobody knows where I live, nobody knows what I am doing, but I've been coming in and out. But I thank God that I'm still here and I love you so much because you've shown me too much love. Today, Bazalani, so I am initially formally from Naledi AFM, where my father and mother used to be pastors, and later on my brother became a pastor, and later on somebody took over. I can see more talks away the 3 years out, 3 years out. So it's been a roller coaster, but we thank God that we're still here. I'm going to share the word today about something that affected me personally and something that impacted me in a negative way, but I am still standing today. According to the program Yamotogoza AFM, I know that this month is a month of reaching out, if I'm correct, to go and preach the word, and then so that people get saved and come to the Lord. After preaching the word, when these people come here, are we ready for them? What do we have for them? If we can get the gates, 6 or 9, hectic, just because forget a fella, you know. If anybody can come, if maybe, I'm not saying we will do that, but what is it that we are going to do once we reach out to the people and we bring them to church? We need to have a plan, Bazalani. We can't go and preach and come back and not know what to do with the souls that we spoke to. So I'm very short-sighted, so I'm going to read, I want us to read Matthew 7 verse 1 to 4. I think you can relate with the scripture. Verse 1 to 4 and verse 26 to 27. I'm going to read it in English, but verse 1, I will do not judge as you will be judged also. If you want judgment, you must come to church. Church is the only place where you don't choose what to do. I worked for the airline. Complaining, you say, oh, I want to sit on the aisle, I want to sit on the window, I want to sit in the middle. Go restaurant, you decide whether you want to sit next to the kitchen. Give more fair, most are deciding. If you look at the day to now, we go to the at least out in the age, we do like more Atlantic. So the answer go back to it. So Matthew 7 verse 1 says, do not judge, for you too will be judged. For in the same way you judge others, you will be judged. With the same measure you use, it will be measured to you. Why do you look at the speck of sawdust in your brother's eye and pay no attention to the plank in your own eye? How can you say to your brother, let me take the speck out of your eye, when all the time there is a plank in your own eye? And then 26, but everyone who hears these words of mine does not put them into practice is like a foolish man who built his house on sand. The rain came down, the streams rose, and the winds blew and beat against their house, and it fell with a great crash. 1 to 4 and 26 to 27.
Ningahluleki ukuba ningahlulelwa, ngokuba ngokwahlulela enahlulela ngabo, nani niyakwahlulelwa ngabo. Nangaleso silinganiso enilinganisa ngaso, nani niyakulinganiselwa ngaso. Ubhekelani ucezwana olusesweni lomfowenu, kepha ugongolo olusesweni lakho awuliboni na? Ungasho kanjani umfowenu, ake ngikhiphe ucezwana olusesweni lakho, bheka ugongolo lakho na. Verse 26 kuya ku-27. Kodwa yilowo nalowo owezwa lawa mazwi ami angawenzi uyakufaniswa nendoda eyisiwula eyakha indlu yayo phezu kwesihlabathi, layithela imvula, kwafika izikhukhula, kwavunguza imimoya, yayishaya leyo yawa, kwaba kukhulu ukuwa kwayo.
Father, we thank you for the word. Is it about to be manifested? Is it about to be interpreted? Can it be interpreted in truth? Can it be interpreted the way it is supposed to? We thank you that your brethren will leave this house and go implement what we heard and what they read about in Jesus' name. Amen. When I started, he said, if you want judgment, come to the house of the Lord. You will be judged with everything that you have. When I grew up as a young girl, what I'm going to tell you, Bazavan, is the truth and nothing else. And it's what happened to me. I'm going to share about what made me today to talk about this verse. If there is one person who will never judge anybody in 2022 standing here, it's me. Because I have been judged from doing good to also getting good, getting bad, because you are judged in everything that you do, especially as manhood. You know, there's just this measuring stick where not of everybody like this. I got married at a very early age, very, very early, when all the young people were going to university. None of them arranged Yes. So my dad died in 1989, 88. I got married in 1989, like really. So I was supposed to go to school at that time. And then I had a mission. Apparently, I don't know that so I'm sure my children don't do. Now I'm not a chicken to your own ceiling. Get last boy here. I got walking on my chatting. Everything is the first one. I got married to a man that I did not know, that I did not love. And I went into the marriage, and then, I can't imagine that. From Kota, I also went to Embalance, I didn't know what was going on. I fellowshiped Vilagazi. They welcomed me. Hamonati ka fellowship mara ekareke mozala ko go hlopana go saitse ntotse twa go sekunda ene ka kubi wa go kereke because le sarwali le kikenya masa le na kitsola go Soweto ka kubo go kereke. So I also realized that I don't want to be here and I don't want to be with this man because I don't even know him, you know. Then, unfortunately, when I left, I had conceived, I had a child because nobody teaches nobody anything, you know. And then you get in there, before you know it, you have a child. And I came back home, and I didn't stay long there because it was so unpleasant. When I came back home, that's when I realized, oh no, I am pregnant. And I was so miserable. I stayed home. I tried to figure out who I am because I lost myself just in that short space of time. I got lost in 2 years, 1 year, 8 months was enough. And then I got out. And then I went back home, and I went back to my church. When you go back to church, nobody asks you, how are you? Nobody asks you, how are you? You know, there is this thing that we do as Christians, Bazalan. We mostly do wrong things that look like they are right. When a person is going through something, they don't need a verse. They probably need a hug at that time. Not a verse. Not a verse. If you can just hug them, that's all you would have done for them, and they will feel better. But Luna is a really busy, and the kind of get some of the laws with the roads and I can let you go out to open like right now, cover down from package. Get a little COVID more than I get some clinics. So when somebody needs a hug, don't give them pain. When somebody needs comfort, don't tell them, oh, for God so loved the world to be known that He gave His only begotten. Irrelevant at that time. What is relevant is how are you? Let's start there. How are you? You know, I went back to church, nobody asked me anything. I continued like, oh normal. And then I realized, oh no, man, I can't. I need to go to school. I need to, you know, I had to navigate my life out. Because it's difficult now. Everybody at home is in exile, some are running, some is chaotic. So I come from a family that is Christian orientated and political orientated. So politics played a very crucial, bad experience in my life. I usually say, I grew up in a mission house where Azarami didn't know where the police station is. Police station is Road. So when you sit in Kohai, Okena Motupa Pelwa, and Nalema Timon Amangarata Chorus, how to fail, how to fail. So what I want to see what I'm not we never saw me as following. What you must come and sing, and tomorrow you're going to school. After it's all been a little bit later, my hair or a paper. I don't know about that, pick him up. And then throughout the day, you were taught to be true to God. You were taught to, in the evening, yes, their change has over my friend Chica. I don't know. You don't know anything. So imagine what type of a child is that? Who grows up with this teaching in the morning and this teaching in the evening, and in between there is too much confusion. I sat at church. I said, and I realized, no, Stinti, it's time to find who Stinti is. When I found out I looked for a man. I eloped and went to the northwest. And I got married without my family knowing. Because they were going to be against me, and they were going to be against the fact that I'm not marrying a Christian. Because so and that's the marriage where it lasted long. Unfortunately, my husband died. And I got very angry. So, and then judgment comes here. You also judge yourself. So we judge other people, but we also judge ourselves. So in the case of self-destruction, I judged myself, and I thought, next time when I do it, I'll do it with a Christian. So in other words, I got married 3 times. And I'm not married currently. I'm divorced. I got married to a pastor. That was my last marriage. And it was all hell. Let me leave it there. I want you to understand why people work the way people work. And this verse is the very same verse that makes everybody that you see kill themselves. It starts from here. From judging people. There's a lot of people, mental illness, people killing themselves. It's so bad. It starts with this verse. It's when you are a Rick and you are successful, but somebody still tells you somebody else is better than you. When you are trying, I want to say to the ladies who are sitting here, are there any young ladies who are not married now? Can you raise your hands? Let me see you. To all the ladies who are not married, please give our dearest brothers a break. If we're now over 200 rand for the past 2 weeks, can I really say more brother who are home and allow that 200? We again, how are you in the past week? You never had 200 rand. Now over 200 you see? How old that thing? How old are you savings? What that is to the room? Maraya never was on Senate get up. And you must know, that if you are a man, you have a beautiful woman next to you. If you don't have a car, you just feel stress. Stress is unnecessary. Can you leave them alone? You are working. Maybe you are earning, I'm just making an example. You are earning 20,000 rand. You have a partner who also earns 20,000 rand. Not about all page. So, when I'm actually 20, or 97, it's all like really one of it. You know, so, busy when why how much of another was a lot again? I can wear again. These are the things that make our brothers to kill themselves. It's us. We are demanding too much. I already makes our demand. I'll tell you what the NASA says. What's up? I can't have the conference. We're going to check it. My last event. Revata this, and something in the kitchen, in a little pizza, just a little bit, tell it to Blanco to I just said it's pizza to do not all kind of way. The come to get a own choice, give pizza. Mother, you pay pizza that day. How is So, how much you yeah. So, you're not to compensate what you have done when You can't come here besides Sundays. So you must also come over. Okay, when sister over here. I'm going somewhere with this one. It might sound funny, it might sound like it's a joke, it's not a joke. If you go out for the first time, if you go out for the first time, it took his it's a really yes. Marana usai tukisa au nana na fera ni 100 rand for. So it starts with you and it ends somewhere else. You can't say you are looking for somebody who will love you when you don't love yourself. You need to start by loving yourself and be full of love yourself before you expect somebody else to do no one. As a human being, people treat you the way you present yourself to them. If you present yourself, if only that, then only make a more carrying. As I want to treat them, they will wait. One day, like a day, or one of Sadua House. No one don't treat us all. I don't meet HDZ, not to solve. You're not going to so it starts with you, it goes somewhere else. As I know, these are the realities of life that we don't talk about in churches. But I am here today to say, stop doing things that very do unto others what we would love them to do to you. So it can be very painful. When I was going through this journey of mine, because it is my journey, everybody more has got their own journey. Can I make an example? Mamuruti is here. She is the wife to the pastor. Unfortunately, but Mamuruti is an individual. Yeah. She came here to support the vision of Mamuruti. But don't you think she has got her own vision? She does. This one is going to force the like a hatalajon. That's all that happened. But for it becomes difficult. Why? Why do we subject ourselves to such? So I want us today, Nazarani, to know that God knows the end in the beginning. It means God knew us before we were formed in our mother's wombs. So that is why if you have it says so before the start. So it means God has got a plan about me. That is why other plans, when I try to do them, they fail. Because I have been in the journey that I started as Manamuruti. In the process, I was a musician. I started singing Benjamin Dube in 1985 when he was still the Dube family. And then I crossed over, I went to Joyous Walchukre, and I realized, no, these things are not paying my bills, not jumping out. And I jumped out, I went into the corporate sector. And even in the corporate, it took me long to find what I wanted to do, up until now. So it takes you long because until you sit down and say, so are business why if they are high? So let me ask him. After I asked him, I was with Mema Morutika Thursday or was it the Friday? I don't remember. And I get over more the following day. I told her I'm going to Pretoria. I want to announce Mamurutu to the gates of Pretoria. So I am a farmer now, a full-time, not imagine, farmer. Okay? So, but it started with too many things. I I was in the airline. I worked for 13 years for SAA Bazarana, branch manager for Mafikeng Airport. I used to wake up at 3 a.m. and get to the airport at 5 a.m. and be in Mafikeng at 8 o'clock and stay for Mafikeng from 8 a.m. until 8 in the evening because I want to play at 8 when I get to the airport, that time I live in Krugersdorp. I get to the airport at 8 and I still do paperwork and then I leave and I drive from the airport to Krugersdorp. I arrive home at about 10, 11, I sleep 12, 1, 2, 3, I am up for 13 years. Why? I never saw my children, I never saw my kids walk, I never saw them crawl. I was always, and I said to Mudim, let's have a conversation. Sometimes it's nice to sit down and talk to your person. Amen. You talk to family or why not to have a tree? Why but one way to get tree? Then when I collected tickets because you are rushing, there was this corner where I used to collect tickets. I didn't even know where this was. When I got to traffic department, they asked me for already takes. Like, why I don't know. Tickets out. You're waiting at the takes. And I had to sit down and say to God, I don't want this. I want to start somewhere else. But because self-destruction and the people you judge, it's still here. You still judge yourself. I mean, early last year I joined a company where we develop apps. I mean, I was in the IT space. By June, after the mayor died, things went wrong. And the second mayor came, he died, things went wrong. So everything went wrong. And I was declared unemployed by July when I started to fellowship again. And I was like, why am I coming to this church to come and lose my job? I'm still unemployed according to Nna. But God knew better plans for me. God knew better plans for Zalwan. I'm going to show you. Going forward, we shouldn't do them. When I go through a divorce, don't judge. Because you don't know anything. I would say next. So don't say anything, just pray for me. When I am in pain, don't say anything, just pray for me. Why would you really COVID? He gets it wrong. Bear it all out and pray. That's all I want. Because you don't know why am I crying. Maybe I'm crying because I'm blessed. Maybe I'm crying because maybe I'm crying because petrol. You know what I'm saying, and then here you are sitting here. So does that mean it's confusion, and what we don't know as Christians, we need to learn to read the word and do it and leave it afterwards. Leave the word. Let me tell you the secret about the word. You know, Satan was a baby. Satan is scared of the spoken word. He's not scared. It is written. How can it is written? He goes away. He is scared of the spoken word. He's not scared of the Bible. You know, when I was going through a lot in my life, there was a time when I said to God, so when I'm doing, he said, only see into the comfort. But remember Zabana, you can't in the comfort. What do you want to see? My brother Baker told me introduced a program called Kalagabusha. Kalagabusha meant Rekala all over again. And he went on to say, "If Papa Melo Tati not say by to get fela basanyana, I take one but who won in Nakaliatis. Yahalis Nachel. Kitanaga Bushani of the Lord. How Tanaka why was sister very so? Why even though Fasola worship team, why worship team a very so? Why are you worried about Baperuan? Why was I bothering? It necessarily mean eating now. What's up people who want to say, oh, nah, because what I love, oh, all right. Now, never Africans are there as time. How would I feel like a politics in an hour? Tratania, what a scarf says, such a millions as well. How basic. I still made Chicago goes scarves at me. I won't go our message and how you look. You look somehow. And that's not you. But why must I accept the baby? Let's accept them as they are. Let's come as we are. As we are, if a person gets saved almost like and she was a prostitute and she comes with a short skirt, little person's scarf. Short skirt, it's her journey. Once she realizes for it, now she is born again, she will herself take the short skirt and she will come next week wearing a better skirt. Without us saying anything to her. Sometimes let's just keep quiet. Let's not say anything. Because people come here burdened, people come here with so many things, and are not busy, and are not because so let's not sit here and be too comfortable and start to hurt other people. Yeah. When you are too comfortable, you think everybody's like you. How are you 100 rand in your wallet? You think everybody here 100 rand? It's whether if you have 100 rands, break it and take the 50 rands and give it to the person sitting next to you. So you are ministering in that way, but don't look at them like, 5 rand, change. 5 rand, it's what? It's the only thing that I have. So I'm going to give that 5 rands with my whole heart. And that 500 rands can mean something to God better than your 1,000 rands. So don't think nobody is better than anyone in here. We are all God's children. Amen. We were once sinners, we fall short of the glory of the Lord, and God sent His only begotten Son to come and die for us. God the Father, God the Son, God the Holy Spirit. I want to make my only dress that you have. So if the only dress that you have, what must you do? We transfer every day and come to church with it. We transfer every day. If you've noticed that there's a lady who's wearing one dress, bring 5 dresses next week and give it to her. I'm going to read something for you that might help us. When we cry and when we fall, do not judge us. Remember that not all wounds heal, and remember that not all scars show. Some scars are not showing. Yeah. So because when I was born, this guy said, "Oh, no, okay, I am bleeding, and when I'm busy on my wound with salt, you are very busy around. And the people that hate you are not these ones who are walking here. As a pastor's kid, when things were bad, I went somewhere, Handiki pub, Galutu Dokombrao, and they get on the big time. So I went out. I just released a CD, and then when you release a CD, I think you must market yourself. So now you must do what? You must come and rehearse here at church. And my leadership told me I can't rehearse at church, I need to pay. So I said, okay, ke patala eng, ba re venue le di-instrument how batho. If there's a building like this and there's a house outside, for me as a pastor's kid, go mission house, go high, go high. So what is it that I'm paying? And then I got told, no, police, I was like, okay, police, and I left. I give it a go spot, Monga spot, I want to choose a house. Bow when I watch I like to see coffee. I saw children like I want to feel coffee. It means at that time, even when you walk alone, God is still there. The people that see you, they see God in you. They even see you. So, and I want to go there. I don't like coffee. He went outside and looked for coffee and he gave him. Because he showed me love. And he told me that I'm not supposed to be here. I don't know how to deal. So not all scars show. Not all illness can be seen. Not all pain is obvious. Remember this before you pass judgment on other people. Through judging we separate, and through understanding we grow. It is easy to judge. It's more difficult to understand. Understanding requires compassion, patience, and willingness, and that's what we lack most of the time as Christians. Now, personally, I stopped explaining myself the day I realized that people only understand from their level of perception. I stopped. I keep losing. I don't owe anybody any explanation. I owe it to God. How do you start like it again? It's your duty to just give me a call and say, I got born. Amen. You know, this morning I was assisting here go worship team, and then later on I get a when I get to the if no one I go to another one, not much of so also was in the city, Bamako, and go so I said that one could no more show and not action. What is you say, Bamako 99? I didn't know get again, so that's what I'm missing once from the pulpit to the chair. That's how judgmental we are. Before or understand that we're not so judges of faith. That can be dangerous as well. Can we stop doing that? So not personally, I stopped explaining myself because people I understand that from the level of their perception. Then we come to the family. I'm going to close the family because family is important as well. I have 3 children, 31, 26, and 17. I'm a single parent. Raising those children can never be easy. Whether you are sitting here, you think, yo, how do they do it? You know, it's not easy. And all these children back about West, but are from different families. So you are dealing with different things that you don't know. But because God has helped me to come to a level of understanding everybody and wanting to fit in with everybody, you sit down with your children and say, the rules kiti. Marausa watu di mamela zeko kana wanopanda ezozo ya usama. Marabo ko Stinti ke number 1 up to 10. Harete so you are guiding your children because you know when we come to children. I want to talk to all the ladies who are singing. We like to sacrifice so much of our children to the partners that we think we love. Give another Stinti, but banally uncle. Marabana uncle, Arati Stinti. It is a lot. So that all we know to learn away. Utsiba Banaba, how live another how and I was sure that the so really busy saying uncle before they know we say the papa. And then Bana was about Papa Bona. Leha Okaba Vitsisa Dade Mang Papa. The battle they come inside of their hearts as about Bana dad. So we are raising bitter children, we are raising angry children, and then Hudisa Leva Shimani, Rezamaya half naked, confusion. It's confusing children, so let's not confuse children. You know, there's a saying, okay, the Bible says we should train up our children in the way that they should go, and even when they are old, they will not depart from it. This is Proverbs 22, verse 6. But there is a saying, Erin, having a child is like having your heart walking around outside of your body. And the process of raising a child is rich with emotions, uncertainties, joys, and sorrows. Children are involved. It's a right song. And then one thing I tell Anyana, okay, I'm going to yellow, aquative, and one hour this person who is angry. She knows nothing about her history. So here you are, Uruzuko Yellow, and it's a lot of you love him, Nataka. Maraling, I'm so good to put a matter of Handawa, I want to go to PM. I can be the notes of what to love again, go to Astra, love again, religion. Has a right to never, Malawi won't keep him done. Because I am very close to the Shai family, and we all know that Petru Shai killed himself. Him killing himself was long planned. It triggered the fact is something. So according to doctors, I said doctor, all of us we have bipolar. Something that triggers it. If there's something can trigger that bipolar, you are going to go seriously crazy. So why not trigger the bipolar? Why do you judge? Why don't we show love more than judging? Let's show love, Mazalwan. Let's show the love that I got from here. I can't explain it. I can't forget one most right. But this, it's amazing.
Amen.
You know, that they used to call me just to check out I'm sorry that the left hand does, the right hand should do. But sometimes it's good to talk about such things. Those are the telephone calls that made me to come back here. I could have gone somewhere else. I could have been somewhere else. But the Lord wanted me to be here. Amen. And I am here. So, going back to when we talk family, we're talking Bontate, we're talking Bombe, we're talking Bana, we're talking everybody. Like I started in the beginning. Or let's give each other a chance. If who are doing very well in their families, Marakana Satile Ota as a right, how much how are you? You must not I saw you made to medicine that don't such as the way you still the family, only Omo, if it's man paying the picture and say, La, you know, oh, what are you should talk in the second of it? What's coming to just a little more, and that's not trying to be misinterpreted. Well, it's a job. Give us the element that when it's a man, maybe other resources, when it's a man, little talk I live outside Troy. And the Roman woman, I used to see my mom. She can say she doesn't have money now, like in the evening, but in the morning, it was somewhere. Did she go to the bank at night or what? Because what we were to do, I get about extra, even on top of what they have. So extra use it for the benefit of everybody in the house. But don't nail it to somebody else. If you think you love your partner, you must be considerate. Let's be considerate in our marriages. Let's be considerate in our relationships. It takes two to tango. So it doesn't take one person. Yes, they are the heads of the families, blah, 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 but they are human beings. And they are going through so much as men because they need to provide. They have to want to this, that. You know, because I got used to doing things on my own. I realized, and then I grew up without brothers. All my brothers were in exile, and so I grew up. I was never a girl who, even now, how come seriously? I once overturned Kapoloi, and when my family called, and then I just said, I should overtake Kapoloi with this tone. And then they dropped the phone, and somebody said, it's because I cannot because when I was screaming, I told the accident because we become so hysterical, and sometimes we don't trust God. But if only you can know, Rona as Christians, we have the keys of our successes, we have the keys of anything in our lives, because we just need to say, you said in your word. That's all. I don't to do sacrifices. We just need to say, you said in your word, you will provide for my children. And if we do those things, they will grow to know the Lord. When my son was about eight, at school they wanted rollerblades, whatever, for sports. So, and I did not have the money for that, and those things are expensive. And I said to him, let's pray God will provide. That young man did not close his eyes. He was wondering, so God is going to come personally and give me the rollerblades. What I was saying, they said, I am yet to see. And I prayed. I closed my eyes, I prayed with him. He always tells this story. Each time it's my birthday, he relates this story. I wish I'll relate again. On Saturday, a white man from my neighborhood came. He was my neighbor. Miss Chikane, I was cleaning my garage, and my nephew left the rollerblades, and I want to give them to your son. Maybe the right size, in what they want for school. And when the white man left, and my son was so happy, she said, is that God? Is that God? I said, no, God sent him. Yeah. You know? So I'm trying to say, teach your children, if but if you, I always talk about clothes. If you dress up nicely, you know, first aid somewhere. Because so if you want people to treat you good, do good to yourself, and you will see the good that they give. The good will be double because they would have seen it from you. So I'm trying to say as I close, let's not judge, because we will be judged with the same measure. Le planka le linyane ka moara le hlola motho wena o na le stem. Even I have stem, ke exaggerate, nna ke stem because se segolo se ka mo le each time you do this, all the fingers are pointing at you. Each time you do this, you are actually saying, reprimanding yourselves. I want to end by saying, when everything else happened, and when everybody else has said what they wanted to say about you, I stood up, I said, I have a journey that was assigned for me. So I'm going to walk in this journey, whether Mazalani Babata or Babata. I'm going to walk in this journey, I'm and I'm going to walk with pride. I'm going to walk tall. I'm going to release everything that, now when a person talks, I listen. I'm a very good listener. But I take what is good for me. I don't take everything. I take what is good for me and I walk away. I'm not going to say to you, so each person got something. What I got, somebody else didn't get. So when you are sitting here, when somebody talks, there's one line that was meant just for you to hear. You don't take any no fellow, they decide it's all and they decide it's just somebody else, somebody else, somebody else, somebody else. So don't sit here and think, well, now we'll be a fellow, not next. And it's going to keep me going. And you know, by the time I come back next week, I'll still be full of that word of God. That one line was meant for me. I walk away with one line happy. I don't walk away with too many lines unhappy. I don't live here and say, I am done with those things. Everybody who stands here and preaches Vazawan, they preach the spoken word of the Lord. So it's up to you to take what is relevant for you and leave the rest to other people. Leave the rest to other people. If it's not for you, just leave it, but take what is yours. Can we go home and do our assignments and stop judging and stop by judging yourself first and judging other people? Start loving yourself, start forgiving yourself, start embracing yourself, start doing all these good things about you. You will see if the Lord will never bless you. Thank you.